they went with.
Yeah, that's all right.
And so I did a lot of I mean, just like New York City, I did improv, because I was like for part of it. I'm more on the writer's side. But like whole Mr. Point, my friend did musical and stuff. I just wanted to do it, and I was like, I let's do it. So in New York, I started having these classes, and then I took the regular improv to like bolster.
Does anybody use the restroom or anything else?
I loved it, but I was
My
like,
diaper. Combining
It's just,
committees.
people are, truly, at the end of the day, it's like, we're not doing.
Because it's, it's great all the way through and then we'll take a break. Okay. All right. Hello, thank you for coming to Redneck Superstar, a Surreality TV musical. I'm your stage manager and the writer, Parrish. And I don't usually do this, so I didn't even know that you were over there. Hi, thank you for watching. If you are here, I really appreciate you all. I appreciate your time, your expertise, and your love and help. This is the project of 5 years of work, but what you see is not the same version by far that it was when it started, but it's something I'm really excited about. This is a very raw first draft of something that I feel good about, and I would love any feedback, so please don't hold back. Nothing will hurt my feelings more than I've already hurt my own. There's a social justice element to it, so I'm particularly concerned with how that comes across, because that's probably why I didn't want to show it to anybody for a long time, because I was nervous about doing it right. And I would, any and all feedback is welcome. And yes, so if you would start the television of your.
Redneck Superstar, a Surreality TV musical by Parrish. As the audience members walk in, they are given a bag of popcorn and directed towards comfy couches and chairs. There is a proscenium decorated to look like a television set. There is a giant remote on a small table at the front of the stage. The show starts when someone walks up and presses play. Scene 1, interior, a soundstage, present day. The lights go up on the set of a singing competition. A neon sign bearing the words Redneck Superstar sits glowing above the stage. A band sits off to the side, providing live music. MCTEETH, the show's announcer, sits at a podium next to the band. Patty Lee, the show's host, stands front and center, beaming, holding a microphone. A small solo stage waits behind her, bearing an amp and a microphone, set for a singer. Everyone is smiling, so much so that it's a little upsetting.
Live from America's butthole, it's Redneck Superstar!
Song 1, Redneck Superstar theme song.
Smallest packages hold big dreams, and dreams can come true in a flash. Yeah, anyone can make the big time, even if they're trailer trash. Yeah, don't listen to those voices putting you down. Just turn your cheek and smile. Sure, your parents might be cousins, but you got that killer style. So take that red dirt roll in front of you. You're gonna show them all. You're gonna go far. Oh, you'll go so far, so far. You might be a redneck. Go, you're a superstar.
Thank you, beautiful people. You are in the audience and you out there at home. Welcome to the heartwarming, show-stopping, sensational, unscripted television special.
She gets the audience to say it with her.
Redneck Superstar! I'm your host, retired pop star and current morning talk show maven, Patty Lee.
And I'm Heath McTeague.
So beautiful.
Yes, you do.
And we're the band. No one cares.
You sweet little people in our studio audience all paid a significant amount of money for tickets. This, the only show that takes a white, uneducated Southern teenager and gives her a shot at being America's sweetheart.
Heath, don't forget poor.
Oh yeah, super duper poor.
Now, you at home might be saying, rednecks? Why? Gross. But friends, that's a no. We here at HBN,
The Heartbeat Network.
have a mission.
The band starts playing syrupy music.
When you picture a redneck, what comes to mind? Most certainly a hapless individual sitting on their sagging front porch, wearing cut-off jeans.
And a dirty, stained, wife-beater undershirt.
Oh, remember? Now we say spouse beater.
Right. Too true.
This person is laying the banjo, eating beans. This person is laying the banjo, playing the banjo, eating beans and cornbread, or perhaps a possum, with their toothless gums. But do you ever ask yourself, why? The answer is poverty. Don't judge them. Some people don't have teeth because they've never had the opportunity to have teeth in the first place.
And that's where we come in.
We're about to pluck a young hopeful from destitution with the goal of turning her life around and give her the chance to live her dreams. And we do it because we believe in her. If you change just one person and you do it in front of a camera, you can really change hearts and minds. And then you can change the world.
Song number 2, Change the World.
Every segment on the news today is a tragedy. Every headline is clickbait that leaves you bereft. Don't it just make you want to crawl under the covers? 'Cause your heart's been bleeding so long, there's no blood left. It's easy to give up. Why play a losing game? But if everyone gave up, news would stay the same, and that would suck. So we won't let it suck. We're gonna change the world, one redneck at a time. Change the world is what we're called to do. Fix the broken, help them make it. It's our chance, we're gonna take it. Oh, America, we promise now to you. We're gonna change the world. Have you ever seen a house that looked like a trash fire? And decided there's no way it's worth it to own. Some people are just like trash fire houses. They're fixer-uppers with real good bones. We're gonna change the world, one redneck at a time. Change the world is what we're called to do. Fix the seedy underbelly where you find a super smelly. Oh, America.
Okay, that's 90 seconds. And we know from analytics that you don't like more than 90 seconds of Patty.
And I'm fine with it. Okay, let's meet today's contestants.
All the way from Fern Grove, Arkansas, meet Roberta Shaw.
A sequence like a reality TV character introduction plays out to camera, indicating this was filmed previously. The band plays dramatic music.
I'm Birdie Shaw. I'm 17 years old. I'm a high school senior, and I live with my mama, Crystal, in Fern Grove, Arkansas. This place is a run-down, no-good, one-horse town full of townies and burnouts. But I'm not like that. I'm something special.
Song number 3, I'm Better Than That.
And I know I have to do big things and make life better for me and my mama. It's just her and me, and she raised me alone. When I was a baby, my daddy went out to get a gallon of milk and never came back. But at least he left me one good thing, this guitar. As soon as my fingers could make their way around the neck, I started playing it myself. I wrote my first song when I was 7. My whole life, all I've ever wanted to do is sing my songs in front of a huge cheering crowd and hear them being sung back to me.
Birdie Shaw, come on down.
Birdie enters from backstage.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me.
Birdie, what makes you think you have what it takes to be a bona fide superstar?
Oh my gosh, well, I hope I have what it takes. I just know that this show is my chance to be heard by all of America And maybe someone out there listening will give me a chance to make something of myself. And I have to make something of myself. I have no choice.
Because it's the only thing you've ever dreamed of?
Exactly. And we're behind on rent and bills, and Mama has a bad tooth, and the porch sags, and when I need to get to school in the mornings, we push the car uphill so we can let it go downhill and get faster and faster so we can start it. And we have a toilet snake.
My plumber has one of those.
No, like a snake that lives in the pipes and keeps popping up out of the toilet to say, "Hey, y'all."
Oh, I would just die.
I mean, to be fair, he's not poisonous. We named him Jake.
That's right, America. She's poor.
Aww.
Birdie, what if we told you that your exact dream could come true here on Redneck Superstar?
It could? Wait a minute, this show is called Redneck Superstar.
You knew you were going to appear on a live singing show, Birdie, but what you didn't know is that Redneck Superstar is a competition.
Yes, you're going head to head with public support. America gets to decide your fate in real time. If you score an 80% positive impression or higher in our series of 6 challenges, you'll win an incredible prize.
No shit?
That's right. A recording contract with Pacific Records and $100,000.
Wow.
And that's not all. This brand new truck.
On the side of the stage, a Price is Right style product ad shows within the show plays out.
It's the all-new Viper Kaboom. Literally blow other cars clean off the road with the first ever collaboration between Viper Motors, Boeing, and the U.S. military. Go Kaboom!
Wow, I'm overwhelmed, but so excited.
What would winning mean to you?
Oh, everything. This would change my whole life. If I could just get out of Fern Grove. That place is full of dumpster people going nowhere.
That's why we're doing this for you. We want to change your life.
So what happens if I don't score high enough?
Well, if that were to happen, which it won't, of course, absolutely nothing. You'll go back to Fern Grove and your trailer and Jake the toilet snake. Things will stay the same.
Forever. Well, America, now that you've met Birdie, it's your turn to be part of the magic. Using your all-new Megatech Universal like and dislike buttons created in partnership with Viper Motors, tell us what you thought of Challenge A, the first impression. Does Birdie deserve to be a Redneck Superstar? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
What? There's a vote already, but I didn't know.
Well, you don't always know when you're making a first impression, do you? Surprise! Now you know what to do, beautiful people out there. Vote, vote, vote!
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
In Scene 2, interior, a commercial set. The backdrop looks like the rugged outdoors. A good old boy, dressed a bit like Larry the Cable Guy, stands next to the absolute most obnoxious truck you can imagine.
What makes a man a man? Power. Man is thunder, lightning, explosions. If you're a real man, you need a real truck to match. You need the power of the all-new Viper Kaboom. Horsepower? Fuck yeah, it's got horsepower. The Viper Kaboom is the first truck in America to be powered by dual airplane engines. You have to sign a liability waiver to drive it. It's got NASCAR speed with the power of a small but densely populated city. But don't worry, the Viper Kaboom is all country. It's got a tackle box with a military-grade padlocks, big gulp cup holders, and a built-in freezer to store large cuts of meat. From the animals you killed with your bare hands. Yeah, you did. 'Cause you're a man. And men go kaboom!
Scene 3, interior Redneck Superstar soundstage. Patty Lee stands next to a screen that will show the vote results.
And we're back!
You voted, and the results are in. Show us the score!
60%!
What?
Not great.
It's like getting a D-.
But I've never scored below a B in any subject.
Wow, I'm so impressed that you know how to read.
Oh, Heath, you're so silly. Birdie, sweetheart, this isn't school. It's reality. But it's okay. We're just getting started, and I believe in you.
You do?
Absolutely. You can do this.
I can?
I know you can. There's a reason why we picked you. The song you wrote says it all.
And it's time for you to share that brilliant song with us in Challenge B, the first performance.
Another one already? Wait, no. You know what? Let's do this. I'm ready.
Atta girl, grab your guitar and show us you're a star.
Song number 4, Social Issue Buffet.
What a voice.
That was awesome.
Shut up, band. That was awesome.
Now what do you think, America? Grab those like and dislike buttons and vote, vote, vote.
I'd give her a thumbs up myself if I could.
Well, your vote does not count, Patty.
Of course not, Heath.
We'll be right back.
Scene 4, Interior Backstage. Behind the curtain, Birdie paces nervously, awaiting the results of the second vote. Nettie, the embodied version of the internet, with a large iPad-like torso, enters. Nettie sneaks up behind Birdie.
Hey, bestie!
Ah!
Ah! Trouble, trouble, trouble!
You scared me.
I know, fun, right? Want to see a jump scare vid?
What? Who are you?
Isn't it Avi?
Absolutely not.
You could say I weave a worldwide web.
So you're spider somebody?
Clueless. I'm the literal internet queen.
What the hell?
Think about it. What is the internet? Can you see it? Can you hold it in your hand? Where can you find it? Right here. It's me.
With all due respect, I think you're a little bit coconuts.
Duh. This whole show is wild, child. Haven't you noticed? Lean into it, babe.
Why not? You're either a stress hallucination or a sign I'll wake up from a dream pretty soon, so why are you here?
Because you're screwed AF, cutie.
What?
A 60% positive rating is bad. Bad, bad, bad.
I know.
Fortunately, when you're being tried in the court of public opinion, internet access is your BFF. The world can talk shit, but they can't stop you from reading it.
They don't like me, and I didn't even do anything. I just, introduced myself.
Oh, Birdie, sweet little baby carrot, that doesn't matter on the internet. This whole show is not only live on TV, it's being live streamed on UVid. Here's the comment section. Trash people, trash problems. Why are we glorifying stupid when these people are the problem with our country? Her mom looks like a human cigarette. If I were her dad, I'd left too.
Ouch. Kind of funny, kind of mean. But they're right. I always knew people would think those things, even though it hurts to hear them out loud. I knew I was right about Fern Grove. I knew I was right about myself.
Avi, what did you expect? The internet may be awful, but it's honest.
Song 5, The Internet Knows.
I just didn't think people would get to comment live on me. But there's no way I'm gonna lose this contest. What do I do, the internet?
Well,
you know what? I'm sorry, but all of this weird things, this feels the weirdest. Do I seriously call you the internet?
Nettie will do, since we're basically soulmates now. And I got your back. I'll scan the comment section and help you as we go along.
Won't the show host notice you?
Maybe someday. I don't think they're ready yet. Besides, I look completely different, but still absolutely snatched to every person who has the ability to see me.
What do you look like to Heath McTeeth?
Okay, whatever. Questions just seem to lead to more questions around here. Let's go.
Scene 5, Interior Redneck Superstar Soundstage. Patty Lee stands in front of the score screen.
And the results are in.
Drum roll, please. 85%.
Nettie's torso flashes a picture of RuPaul and Drag Race Judge Mode.
Slay!
Yes!
Birdie, you lived up to your name. That songbird voice really turned things around for you. You have an average of 72.5% with 3 challenges to go.
Jackpot, here we come.
And now it's time to start your transformation. Let's go from Trailer Park to Park Avenue. It's Challenge C, Fashion with Frances.
Scene 6, Interior Redneck Superstar Soundstage, Frances Studio. Frances stands proudly in her makeover studio area, surrounded by clothing racks and a hair and makeup station. Heath McTeeth, Patty Lee, and Birdie enter the studio.
I'm Frances, celebrity superstylist, Reggae Healer Taurus. I'll be taking our superstar and helping her curate her look. We'll develop a signature style over the next 9 minutes. It'll be classic, modern, unique, recognizable, risky, and totally original.
A bark is heard and Frances pulls a tiny chihuahua from her purse.
Yes, that's right, you king. This is Sushi, and he is my goddamn inspiration. He goes everywhere with me. We're at Franken Sush on all platforms.
Francis, you are an utter miracle worker. Walk us through your vision for Birdie.
I love that for me. Okay, so first we have to release the negative energy and spirits of the models who died wearing these gorgeous clothes.
Nettie's torso flashes a red flag emoji. Francis breathes in and out and places a hand on the clothes rack.
Go. Be at peace. You try.
Wow, no, I'm good.
If you wear their clothes, they'll know. They always know.
Okay. Go, be at peace.
It worked!
Girl, the comment section is wild. I like this woman. She cray.
Now, we begin. Let's talk about this outfit. Authenticity is important, right? Like, we always want people to be themselves. That's what audiences love.
100%.
We love it, yeah. But, like, we don't love this. It's giving Walmart, it's giving Goodwill, but, like, bad will, you know?
Don't be embarrassed, sweetie. That's not bad. It's good.
It's good,
Goodwill is bad.
but bad will is good.
So good. Everyone loves a rags to riches story, and you can't get riches without the rags, babe. This is your origin story. Your origin story.
It's authentic. It's real.
And we get to show the world your transformation. We don't need designer. We want relatable, but classy.
Exactly.
Your sneakers, those jeans, your flannel, like, time to say bye-bye.
Birdie steps behind a changing screen and removes her street clothes. She hands them to Francis.
Can I get a PA over here?
Yes, Francis? I mean, moon goddess?
Thank you. Take these and burn them.
What?
Kidding! Try on this dress, Birdie. It's a bit low cut.
But not too low.
These high heels.
Not too high.
Exactly. Plus a little leather jacket because she's the girl next door, but she's also got like kind of a badge.
The changing screen is whipped away.
Oh my God.
Love it, right?
Love it.
Now, the hair, unremarkable.
A lot of country stars have been redheads.
Yeah, she's not really like a Reba or Bonnie.
Blonde?
Nettie, what's going on in the live stream?
On it. The comments are, they're pretty good to tell you the truth.
They like blonde?
Oh, my little Nutella crepe. Everyone likes blonde.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta go blonde. And we gotta go big.
The bigger the hair, the bigger the star.
Tammy,
Big hair,
Dolly.
big hair.
Loretta.
big hair.
Song 6, Big Hair, Big Dreams.
Now, Birdie, how much makeup do you usually wear?
You're looking at it.
Okay. So yeah, this is a total redo.
Big eyelashes, lots of contour.
But like fresh face, girl next door, a little blush, a little lip gloss.
Not lipstick?
Goddess, no. Lipstick must be earned. And voila. I know I'm the one who did it, but like, I'm still really impressed, you know? He agrees. Masterpiece. You look exactly the same, but like better. It's just so you.
Nettie, help.
Bet.
How am I supposed to react? What are people saying?
OMG, everyone loves a makeover, Birdie. Go with it.
Wow, I feel so beautiful.
What do you think of our superstar now? You know what to do, audience. Grab those buttons and vote, vote, vote. Will Birdie be a redneck superstar? Is this transformation a big thumbs up or a big thumbs down?
We'll be back after a word from our generous benefactor.
Scene 6, interior commercial set. A good old boy sits at a dinner table with a napkin tucked into his shirt.
It's dinner time. If you're hungry, you're about to dig into steak, mashed potatoes, and a hot, fresh dinner roll. Wouldn't it all taste better with butter? That's right, butter. Made right here in the good old US of A. Sure, there's a lot of butter substitutes out there in the supermarket shelves, but is it any wonder that depression's at an all-time high? Why SSRI it when you can butter it up and fry it? We're the American Dairy Association, a proud division of Viper Motors. And we're really just here to say, don't be sad, feel better.
A new commercial starts. A Southern belle walks through her home, recounting a scene from the recent past.
It was date night. I ironed my little black dress, and I had my big hair and big plans. I even shaved my legs, both of them. And then my boyfriend picked me up in a rundown old hoopty that broke down on the highway. By the time we got to Texas Roadhouse, they were closed. That's when I realized I should have gone kaboom.
Sure, you give a rat's ass. Pick her up in style. Let her ride shotgun in the all-new Viper Kaboom. It even comes with a removable heavy-duty purse hook for her. But I reiterate, that shit's removable because the Viper Kaboom is a truck for real men.
And a real woman wants a real man.
Go Kaboom.
Go kaboom.
Scene 7, interior Redneck Superstar soundstage. Patty Lee stands next to the score screen.
And we're back.
I'm too excited. Can we show the scores already?
No, we cannot. Because as mandated by popular demand and my contract, it's that special time of the evening. People attracted to men, here's Heath.
Heath McTeeth steps out from his podium and goes to the front of the stage. He performs a sexy dance and smiles widely, disturbingly, while the band plays. Adoring fans start to come up and fawn all over him. Heath eventually dances into the audience and performs bizarre personal shows for different audience members.
I am so confused.
I confer with both what the fuck, what WTF and da fuck, but the comments don't lie.
Nettie assumes different character voices while reading.
Yummy! Is it weird that I want to lick his teeth? Daddy! Zaddy! I think I'm pregnant.
Who even is he?
He's just the guy who's always in everything.
Oh, super helpful, thank you.
Okay, Professor. According to Wikipedia, Keith McTeeth is an American entertainer who was born February 14th, 1988 in Malibu, California.
I already don't care.
He was first noticed by an ad agency scouting for a Gerber commercial at the age of 3 months because he was already sporting a disturbingly wide grin and a full set of sparkling white teeth.
Any chance you're able to help me unlearn that?
Nope, it's in your brain forever.
Keith McTeeth finishes his dance. The adoring fans leave.
And now, the results.
The suspense is killing me.
Yowza, 90%.
Thank you, everybody.
Incredible! This brings your average to 78.3%. Almost there with 2 challenges to go.
So close. Nettie, what are they saying in the comments?
Nettie assumes different characters while reading the following.
See? Anyone can change. What an amazing transformation. She looks so beautiful. I had my doubts, but she's a class act now.
Oh, it's working. They like me, Nettie.
They do. They really like you. Well, the new you.
Yeah, the new me.
How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Like I finally have a real shot at the life I've always dreamed of. I feel like nothing can stop me.
That's the spirit.
This is everything I've always wanted. I'm gonna leave Arkansas behind. The trailer park, our broken down old station wagon, the cracked sidewalks and overgrown lawns. Jake the toilet snake. Goodbye, Fern Grove.
Hello, world.
Song 7, Goodbye Fern Grove. Skip.
We'll be back after this message from our benevolent overlords.
Scene 8, interior, a commercial set. Good old boy leans against a fence with his hands in his pockets.
Times they are a-changin'. These days everything is go, go, go. And just because you're a little old-fashioned, well, that don't mean you can't keep up. You work 9 to 5. You take the kids to 4-H. You still have fellowship and Bible study on your social calendar. You're gonna have to choose between grabbing a bite to eat and taking a little time to relax. At least that's how things used to be. Times are a-changin', and now there's Snuffy, the only chewing tobacco that's also a full meal. Just one piece and you'll tackle those cravings all at once. No need to spit. It has all the calories and nutrients of a Sunday dinner. Plus, that sweet, sweet hit to the bloodstream. And 3 bold, powerful flavors, steak, beef, and hamburger. We're a proud Viper product, and a year-long supply of Snuffy is now included with every Viper Kaboom purchase. Don't just snuff. Snuffy!
A new commercial starts. Good old boy and Southern Belle are in a recording studio together. And there's a song.
Oh, yeah. Well, the sun's going down on Saturday.
And I'm heading down that old dirt road.
I slipped my arm around my gal because she's looking fine.
And there's just one thing on my mind.
Kaboom! Kaboom! Getting busy in a Viper kaboom.
It's the only truck cabin, sorry.
Oh, it's the only truck cabin with humping room.
Get busy and Viper kaboom.
Get busy in Viper kaboom.
Scene 9, interior Redneck Superstar soundstage.
Welcome back, America. Who wouldn't get busy in a Viper kaboom?
I know I would.
Redneck's torso flashes a barfing emoji.
Ew. Also, every commercial is for a Viper kaboom?
You've met our Redneck Superstar.
Still don't really love that name.
You've heard her sing, and you've watched her makeover transformation. Now get ready for Challenge D, the big one. Who's your daddy?
Ooh, this is my favorite one.
What's that?
A superstar isn't just one person in the spotlight. Oh no.
Oh no.
A life of fame and fortune shines that spotlight on everything. Your past, your family, what you eat for dinner.
Birdie isn't alone in all of this. Oh no.
Oh no.
We're going to take a little journey outside this makeshift soundstage and into the town of Fern Grove. We're going to meet Birdie's family, and we're going to find out if she has the backstory America craves.
Wait, do we really have to do that?
Of course we do, sweetheart. It's part of the show.
As for daddies, you don't have one, so we're going to visit your mom.
I didn't know this was part of the plan.
This is a reality show, Birdie.
Exactly. It's part of the deal. Besides, we're making things so much easier for you now. When you're a superstar, all of this comes out sooner or later anyway.
Our camera crew is already down at Happy Trailers to you, or down at Happy Trailers to your trailer park, where Birdie lives with her mother, Crystal.
What do I get to do for the challenge?
Oh, absolutely nothing. But you can watch.
Heath and Patty leave.
I don't actually want them to see my house to bother my mama. She's just gonna say things and do a bunch of embarrassing things. Isn't there anything I can do?
I'm so sorry, bestie, but no. You signed a contract.
I did?
Yes, when you submitted your audition tape. Let me just scroll through your email. Ah, yes. By checking the box below, you agree to let the Heartbeat Network and by promoters showcase any and every aspect of your past, present, and future life. You also agree to the same conditions for all immediate family members, and we can read your middle school diary out loud.
What?
If it's interesting.
I don't want people to see any of that stuff.
I know, little butterbean, but fortunately and unfortunately, it will be yesterday's news before you know it.
Scene 10, exterior of the Shaw family trailer. A camera guy, Heath McTeeth, and Patty Lee stand on a dilapidated front porch area attached to a beat-up trailer. The front door is hanging on by one hinge. The porch is covered in piles of old junk, newspapers, old plastic containers, kids' toys, etc. Birdie and Nettie watch via monitor from the soundstage.
Let's get ready to dig up that dirt.
Heath McTeeth rings the doorbell. Crystal pokes her head out, cautiously.
No solicitors.
Are you Crystal Shaw?
I said we don't want any.
Oh, Mama, don't.
Ma'am, we're here because of your daughter, Birdie. And you're on live TV.
Why? What does she do?
Nothing bad, Mrs. Shaw. This is a live reality TV singing competition, and your daughter is on her way to being a star.
Is this a prank?
Oh, Mrs. Shaw, never. Here's Birdie, back at the studio.
Camera guy shows Crystal a monitor view of Birdie on set. Birdie waves. Crystal steps out of the house and walks over to the monitor.
She's not at the library studying? Roberta, why didn't you tell me about this?
I don't know.
You can't hear her right now. No sound feed.
Did Birdie agree to all this?
She actually contractually did, for both of you.
Well, it's okay. It's just a lot, all at once. So, live in front of America? Right now?
That's right.
It's nice to meet y'all, I guess. Tell me more about this singing.
Crystal, we're here to interview the woman of the hour. You.
Me? What for?
Birdie's family is about to be in the limelight. We want all the details. What's your story?
Okay, well, it's just me and Birdie. I raised her all by myself, just like my mama raised me. God rest
So she had me at 17, and I had Birdie at 17.
Oh, my heart. Teenage pregnancy.
My, teenage pregnancy.
It hasn't been easy, but I wouldn't trade my kid for anything. I know this place isn't much, but we get by.
The door falls off the single hinge.
I'm handy with a screwdriver.
Oh God, this isn't happening.
But not so handy with a broom and dustpan.
Oh, I know it looks pretty bad. I didn't know we were having company. There's not much time for anything else besides work anyways.
Did anyone ever give you the chance to better yourself?
Around here, we don't have anything like that. We never have, and we never will.
Song 8, Recipe Book.
There ain't no kind of nightmare like the American dream. The promise that all can work to earn the same. They drug your dream in potion and they make it seem when you fail, you're the only one to blame. Oh, Mama said, surely things would be better somehow, 'cause she worked so hard till her hands were scarred. And really things should be better by now. She did everything right, with a goal in sight. But it's paycheck to paycheck, credit card debt, trying to catch a break with a butterfly net. They tell her that her ship just hasn't sailed in yet, but it's lies. Here comes the reprise. It's how your mama's mama learned to cook. It's the family heirloom recipe book, and we pass it down despite the plan. Here's that hard cake you don't wanna bake, and the heartbreak that you can't shake, but you take it and learn to make it the best you can. Mama's mama said, chickadee, don't end up like me. I had a kid too young, all my songs unsung. Yeah, she said, chickadee, there's so much more to see. Go and chase that train, grab a hold and break that chain. Then she was fresh out of high school, eating for two, knee-deep in diapers with the rent past due. They tell you that your kids will have it better than you, but it's lies. Here comes the reprise. It's how your mama's mama learned to cook. It's the family heirloom recipe book, and we pass it down despite the plan. Here's that hard cake you don't wanna bake, and the heartbreak that you can't shake. So you take it and learn to make it the best you can.
Crystal, you have touched our souls.
And you at home, get ready to bash those buttons.
What do you think of Birdie's family story?
Who's your daddy? The like button is your daddy, folks. Vote, vote, vote!
Scene 11, Interior Redneck Superstar Soundstage.
Woo! Would you look at that comment section?
I don't want to.
You sure? Because America is loving all of this.
What are you talking about?
I mean, they love to hate it, but you can't deny they want it.
Song number 9, Train Wreck.
Hot mess, like what? Heartfelt shit show. Hot mess, like what? Heartfelt shit show. Everybody wants to watch a train wreck. It's human nature to a T. humble, 'cause it ain't happening to me. Do you want to hear a hot take? Either way, I'm gonna serve it. But the way that they treat others, don't you think that they deserve it? Life is tough and so they struggle in vain, it's through heartache and pain. Well, maybe they should change the way they vote at me and speak. I hope she'll grow to open her mind. I hope she'll be a person I can get behind. But I'm doubtful, so I'll kick back with my popcorn and see. That's entertainment. Everybody loves to watch a train wreck. It's human nature to a T. I love to watch disaster unfold, 'cause it ain't happening to me.
Skip to Birdie's next line.
So they love me because they love to hate me.
In a way, but I wouldn't take it personally.
Feels pretty personal to me.
I mean, they just met you. They'd be saying this no matter who they chose to be a redneck superstar.
Well, it feels like shit.
Yeah, there's a lot about being rich and famous that kind of blows.
Well, I'd rather still be rich and famous than poor nobody.
Even if they think you're trashy?
If I get to be rich and famous, the audience chose it, right? So maybe it doesn't matter what other things they say, as long as I can get what I want and help my family.
Preach! Eyes on the prize, babe. Fern Grove is a rundown, no-good, one-horse town full of townies and burnouts.
Where did that comment come from?
You.
It did?
Scene 12, exterior the Shaw family trailer.
Ooh, those votes are really pouring in.
10 seconds left to hit like. And while the scores are being counted, it's time to introduce the band.
Hey, wow, really?
No.
You beautiful folks out there at home on your couches have given Birdie's Challenge D an 85%, which brings her to an overall 80% positive reception.
Wow!
I knew she could do it.
Well, she didn't really do anything, did she, Patty?
I guess not, Heath.
And there's more nothing where that came from. We'll be back with Challenge E after this heartwarming message.
Scene 12, interior commercial set. Good old boy, a Southern belle, and a grandma sit in rocking chairs in the center of the room.
Meemaw, we have something exciting to tell you.
That's right. We have big news.
What's that, sonny boy?
Oh, we finally got you that new family member you've been bugging us about.
Oh, hi.
Surprise!
We're having a baby.
Grandma stares at them.
Aren't you excited?
Don't you want a great-grandbaby, Meemaw?
I'd rather have a viper kaboom!
What the fuck?
I tell you what the F.
She can hear me?
We're baby boomers. We're here for a reason, and we know what's important. 6 tons of bitchin' hot metal. Go kaboomers!
Grandma looks at good old boy and Southern belle disapprovingly.
Millennials.
Scene 12, exterior Fern Grove Main Street Redneck Superstar soundstage. Heath McTeeth and Patty Lee stand on Main Street with the camera guy. Birdie and Nettie watch from the soundstage.
This is getting ridiculous.
Right? They criticize millennials for not having kids, now for having kids. Pick a brand, y'all.
I'm 17, and as a Gen Z, I find that unrelatable. But I'll take whatever solidarity I can get. Now, back to my point. Did you notice the grandma in that commercial could hear me?
Plot twist?
And now, from the warm, sweaty valley between two ass cheeks, Redneck Superstar is back.
We're here on Main Street, the epicenter of Fern Grove.
And we're about to dig more dirt and kick off Challenge E. Talk of the town.
We know what Birdie thinks about Fern Grove, but what does Fern Grove think about Birdie?
In random interviews, we'll find out what this Redneck Superstar is really like, from the very people who've known her for her whole life. Excuse me, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you know Birdie Shaw?
Crystal Shaw's Birdie? Why, yes, everyone in Fern Grove knows Birdie.
Well, Pacific Records is about to give her a recording contract and make her a star. What do you think of that?
Why, that's wonderful. Oh, she has such a lovely voice. Couldn't happen to a sweeter young woman. Even though her mother was a sinful teenager who got knocked up. Birdie's a good, young Christian woman with Christian values. Amen.
Aw, thank you for your time. And as you folks say, bless your heart.
Well, bless your heart right back.
Woman 1 exits, man 1 enters.
Sir, may we talk to you?
Okay.
You're on live TV.
Okay.
Birdie Shaw is about to become a recording superstar right now on live TV.
Okay.
And any coherent thoughts about that at all?
Birdie boys, go Razorbacks.
How sweet. Mostly.
Man 1 exits and man 2 enters.
Sir, do you know Birdie Shaw?
You trying to film me?
Well, yes. This is a camera.
Rumble.
Birdie Shaw is on live TV right now, about to become a singing sensation.
Well, now, that's nice. Good kid.
Any other thoughts?
God bless the Second Amendment.
Okay, yikes.
Woman 2 enters.
Excuse me, ma'am,
What?
Fern Grove's own Birdie Shaw is about to win a recording contract and become a country music superstar.
My stars.
She's really something special, isn't she?
Sure is. Just don't hope she don't start making any of that kind of music.
Pardon?
Any of their kind of music.
Um,
Overtly racist comment.
whoa.
I agree, ignorantly racist statement.
Let's just,
Man 1, woman 1 enter.
Shockingly racist sentiment.
Something else racist.
From
Racist.
emotion.
Cut!
Stage lights go black as the band plays smooth jazz. Scene 13, interior Redneck Superstar soundstage.
And the live stream is down.
Birdie sits down on the floor, shocked, sad silence.
Comment section blew the whole thing up.
Birdie says nothing.
Bitcoin for your thoughts?
My stomach hurts.
That's a good thing.
I've known those people my whole life.
So you've been hearing those awful things your whole life?
I don't think so.
I mean, honey, you know.
You'd think so, but this seems new. It's just
Raisin.
yeah. What is happening to them? Why are they thinking and talking like this now?
Oh, Birdie, those things have been inside them for a long, long time.
Nettie's torso displays various social media profiles, forum comments of Fern Grove residents.
Like I said before, people are real honest on the internet.
But it used to be bad, right? Especially down in the South.
Yes, obviously.
I thought the world wasn't like this way anymore. I thought we fixed it.
Birdie, there are two schools of thought. One, girl, where the hell have you been? And two, this is a lot to grapple with. A lot of people thought the same thing for a long time.
Both of those feel fair. I feel so ashamed of myself and of this place.
We're gonna work on that. There is so much I can teach you, but not within the time frame of a quarter of a TV special.
What can I do to help?
Well, first of all, chew on this. Issues like this aren't ever gonna go away until white people like you, your family, and the people in this town recognize them in their own selves and work on the issues. All people, regardless of what they look like, have to think about these things and the way they've been affected, the ways they've been a part of the horrible stuff. That's a lifelong process, but in the next few minutes, you're just gonna have to go with your gut.
We're back. Viewers, we apologize sincerely for what you just heard.
As this is live, we were unable to stop it and unable to censor it. But those sentiments are never, ever okay.
Patty, myself, Viper Motors, and HBN vehemently oppose what was just said by the citizens of Fern Grove.
We condemn it. And we apologize that you had to hear it.
But folks, are you really surprised? Weren't you waiting for it to come spilling out?
See what Southerners are really like?
And now back to the show.
Patty, Heath, and the rest of the crew launch into the theme song while Birdie, Nettie, and the audience members look around awkwardly. Song number 10, Redneck Superstar theme reprise.
Are you ready, viewers? Let's see what you thought of Talk of the Town.
What? Please don't make them vote on something like that.
We didn't make the rules. Vote, 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 vote.
This is weird and awful.
Excellent summary of living in these times.
And the results are in.
80%, keeping you at an average of 80%. I have no idea what to say. So let's move on.
What the hell? What are the comments saying now?
Let's see. Offended, outraged, vindicated, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they do not condone racism, but they're glad your fellow Ferngrovians are exactly who they were predicted to be.
I'm confused and upset.
Knocking it out of the park with these book titles.
Birdie, are you ready for the big finale? Your sixth and final challenge, Challenge F, is to write and perform the best Redneck Superstar song you possibly can in the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Are you serious?
And you beautiful people at home will score her on her redneckedness and superstarredness.
What does that mean?
Well, you know. Write about being poor white trash.
But you made me up. You gave me a makeover.
Well, yes, you don't want to look like poor white trash, but you have to sing about it. It's where you came from. It will always be part of your story, right from the heart. Write about being poor, Birdie. So poor.
Write about teenage pregnancy and your single mother.
Write about how terrible Fern Grove is, how awful those people we interviewed were.
Lean in, Birdie. You can do it.
Good luck, Superstar.
A stagehand enters, gives Birdie a guitar, and exits. Heath and Patty exit.
This isn't fair. My brain is spinning and spinning.
Okay, dish.
They want me to be kind of trashy, and they don't want me to be trashy at all.
That's also just being a woman, but we'll unpack that some other time.
Great. So much to look forward to in my adult life.
You want this recording contract, this money, this chance to exit Fern Grove?
More than anything. But it doesn't feel that simple anymore. I knew exactly who I was and what I wanted 40 minutes ago, but now I don't know anything, except how awful I feel about all of those things that my neighbors said. How can I write a song about being a redneck? I'm not like that. I'm not like them. I'm not a redneck.
Yes, you are.
I'm not?
You are too.
Wow, what the hell? Whose side are you on?
Yours, Avi. And I'm telling you, you are a redneck through and through.
I don't understand why you're here. One minute you're helping me, the next you're insulting me.
Okay, first of all, remember, I'm the internet. That's literally my definition. And second of all, I'm not insulting you, at least not at the moment.
You called me a redneck.
Duh. Do you even know what a redneck is?
Duh, a hillbilly, a trashy person, a southern simpleton, and I guess, of course, a racist jerk, blah, 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 etc., etc.
Not originally, not even close. Redneck was a compliment, a word for someone who fought for change.
Really?
Bet. 1921, Appalachian coal miners in West Virginia stood up to coal companies that were exploiting them, making tons of money in their cushy homes while subjecting the mine workers to atrocious working conditions, illness, injury, and death.
That's disgusting.
Hell yeah, it was. So those coal miners formed a union and wore red bandanas around their necks in solidarity.
Redneck.
You got it, boo-boo. All of them united for a cause. White miners, black miners, and immigrants. They had far more in common with each other than they did with the rich bosses.
That's amazing. So a redneck doesn't have to mean someone who says awful things about people who have a different skin color?
It never was supposed to mean that.
So why do people use redneck like that?
To put it simply, the people who have a lot get scared. There are a lot more rednecks out there than rich CEOs, and history has a way of taking words and twisting their meanings to divide people who would otherwise band together, turning positive words into insults.
Why didn't I know any of this stuff before now? Why don't they teach all of this in school?
People who want all the money and power work pretty hard to make sure you never think to question them, and they have a lot of control over what ideas people spread, like Thanksgiving.
They have all the money and power, and I have what? I have a voice and a national broadcast, at least for the next 15 minutes.
Yes, you do, Queen.
That's what this song should be about. I can just tell people the truth and help.
Lose the recording contract, the money, and the Viper kaboom.
Right.
You can do exactly what they're asking you to do. Be who they want you to be.
The wrong kind of redneck. Well, what they think a redneck is.
Or you can sing with a bandana on.
This is my dream, Nettie. All I've ever wanted. And the money. We need that money so bad. Would you think bad things would happen? Would you think bad things about me if I tried to win the money?
I'm the internet, come drop. I'm gonna think bad things about you no matter what you do. Good things too. Maybe the more important question is, will you think bad things about yourself?
I've been thinking and feeling bad things about myself my whole life.
True dat. Your own self-talk was basically the same thing as the comments when you got here, remember?
Damn. It sounds so different coming out of someone else's mouth. I never knew I was treating myself like crap.
Shame's a bitch. There's no shame in being poor, having less, being from one place or another, but we sure find it anyway.
I don't feel it the same way I did when I came in here.
What do you feel?
Confused,
Preach.
but also maybe a little proud.
I love that for you. Remember what you wanted when you walked in the door?
The money, the recording contract.
Not true.
Then he replays the clip of Birdie talking to Patty at the beginning of the show.
Maybe someone out there listening will give me a chance to make something of myself.
You didn't know about any prizes when you got here. You're 17. You think this is your one and only shot? Hardly. There's always someone out there listening. The chance to make something of yourself, well, that could come from any person.
Nettie, what if I'm that person?
Screaming, crying, throwing up.
Birdie sits down and starts writing a song. Scene 14. Interior Redneck Superstar soundstage backstage. Heath McTeeth gets a makeup touch-up from Francis while Patty Lee paces nervously.
My cheekbones are a crime.
Oh, yeah, that.
They bludgeoned someone once.
Oh.
I'm just so nervous.
Why? Do you have something going on later?
The show, Francis. The show we're on right now.
Oh, right. I'm wrapped, so.
I'm crossing my fingers that Birdie will win it all. She just has to.
Why?
Heath, this could change her life, change the world. I had a whole song at the beginning of the show.
You meant that?
I wrote it.
Ew. Makes sense.
Aren't you even a little excited and hopeful?
Of course I'm excited, Patty. Excited for the paycheck to clear.
Cha-ching.
Wow. My agent said there was a caring person underneath all those teeth.
I care about a lot of things, Patty. Sustainability,
You king.
endangered pandas,
Hot.
just not this.
Wow. Well, at least we only have to work together for the next 10 minutes.
Think again, sweetheart. This is about to be a series.
It's a one-episode special.
Viper, Motorson, and Diane enter.
Not anymore.
Viper!
Heath! It's even more successful than I thought.
Hot damn, Sam!
We're a hit! Oh, thank you for your excellent work, Patty.
I'm sorry, who are you two?
I'm Diane Dean, Heartbeat Network CEO.
Viper Motorson, the CFO of Viper Motors, maker of the all-new Viper Kaboom. Yeah, grum grum.
Viper Motorson leads to a chest bump.
No, Diane. Bad Diane. Okay. We've outsold our wildest expectations. People don't even want to test drive it, I guess. We've sold 2,000 units, 200,000 units in the last 45 minutes online.
How did you do it?
Guaranteed loan approval of 36.9% APR.
Ouch.
For them.
Ching for us!
So you know the show is a hit already and you want it to become a series? That's amazing.
Oh, well, we're not really paying any attention to that, Patty. This is all data from Kaboom sales.
That's the only reason this show exists, Patty.
To sell Viper Kabooms?
Does your agent tell you anything?
But what about Birdie? Her recording contract, the money, it's all fake?
Oh no, that's all real. It's just, it doesn't matter. HBN is owned by Viper Motors. Pacific Records is owned by Viper. We lose nothing if Birdie loses the contest. And if she wins, well, we can throw $100,000 in a recording contract around like rice at a wedding. Oh, Heath has a recording contract.
Auto-tune, baby.
Francis has a recording contract.
Natch. But I have to say, I am very concerned about the rice thing because it explodes in birds' stomachs.
Patty, the music industry is basically one big advertising service. You know that. You were a teen pop star.
I'll have you know that they kept all of us in the dark when I was a pop star.
Oh, that's not a flex.
Whatever. At least Birdie will still get a chance at a better life. We can still change the world, even if we have to sell a bunch of trucks to do it.
Ooh, that's places.
Finale time!
Heath, Viper, Diane, and Francis exit.
I guess I'm the only one around here who really cares.
The band leader pokes their head in.
I care, Patty.
Literally the only one who cares.
Scene 15, interior commercial set. Good old boy stands in the center of the room in front of a Viper kaboom.
Hey there, friends. You want one? You know you want one. You're gonna buy it. Buy a Viper kaboom. Buy it. All I gotta do is stand here and say, Viper kaboom. In fact, with this puppy here behind me, I could just stand here and say just about anything and you'd still buy it. Pizza, sarsaparilla, glue gun, pinata, Viper kaboom. Bleepy florp, flip flop, maglop, bumpy bam, bloomy bop, Viper kaboom.
Birdie walks onto the set.
What?
Hey there,
Who are you and why are you here?
I'm Birdie. I sing songs and I'm here to take my show back and set you free.
Bird. What?
You and I, we're both Southern folk, and I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do this. You don't have to like trucks.
But I wanna like trucks.
You think you do, I know.
No, but pretty sure I like them.
Why?
Well, I haul a lot of lumber, and I live up a mountain. I need four-wheel drive.
Oh.
And I like it when the big engine goes vroom, vroom, vroom. And ain't no shame in liking trucks, ma'am.
I guess you're right. Sorry, I'm kind of new at this whole redefining Southern identity thing. Oh, wait, you don't have to say all that stuff you said earlier about men and women and what they like and all that. We're all so much more complex and cool and interesting than that.
I am a pretty interesting individual.
Well, come on, let's jump on over to the show. You out there watching, grab those remotes, hit fast forward, fast forward.
Fast forward! Fast forward!
Scene 16, interior Redneck Superstar soundstage.
And we're back. Sorry about that bizarre commercial interruption, folks. Looks like someone's getting a little too big for her britches.
Well, I'm the superstar, Heath.
Of course, right. Right you are. I was kidding. Slugger?
Birdie, are you ready to wow us and tug on our heartstrings with the most redneck, superstariest song we've ever heard?
I was born ready, Patty.
Get those voting fingers ready, America!
Birdie hands a sheet of paper to the band leader.
These are the chords, Stephanie. You'll hear it.
Oh my God, you know my name!
Song 11, I Am More. Skip.
I was born to a high school senior mama in the middle of a national dry spell. We started out with nothing and somehow lost more. There's a trailer park that I call home. I use dollar store shampoo and wear thrift store clothes. I eat hamburger helper and canned beans. College is a gold lacquered pipe dream. There are a million mean words people throw at me, and some of them I come by honestly. But I am more, so much more.
What are you doing?
I am more than a name, a place, a slur that makes you giggle. You can't look down on me, you see, 'cause we're staring eye to eye. I'm more. You think you know me and my family and what we're all about. What I think and how I feel, what kind of person I'd cast out. But you can't see past the Walmart clothes. Inside beats a heart that would never, ever mistreat another soul and would never stand for others being mistreated. I am more.
This isn't what we talked about. Don't do it.
Deep down, you don't want me to change. You see the world burning and need someone to blame. There's no match in my hand. And in fact, I'll be the one to throw water on the flames. I am more.
Well, that just happened. It's certainly a song. And it's time to submit your final votes. Hit those buttons now.
We're all rooting for Birdie to win.
Oh, Patty, you're such a silly, silly goose. You out there at home know we can't and don't have any influence over your votes whatsoever.
Don't judge her too harshly. Think of that great first song.
Patty. Pop star, TV hostess, and comedian. Wow, she can really do it all, folks.
Patty begins to speak.
Looks like Patty's mic went out. Oh, live TV, what can you do? We'll get someone right on that. But hey, guess what? It's not that important because the votes are in.
Heath goes to the score screen.
We're about to reveal the final challenge score for Birdie Shaw. Are you ready, people? Your drum roll. 50%! The lowest score of the day? Bringing her average to 73%. Oh no! No deal! No dollars! No Viper kaboom!
It's okay, everyone. Really, I wouldn't change a thing.
You wouldn't go back and try to actually win these fabulous prizes? Okay, whatever.
Some things that seem fabulous at first don't stay that way when you look real close. But I do have one last thought, Heath.
And what's that?
I wonder what America thinks of a show, a network, a truck company that all have the chance to give someone in need $100,000, but they choose to make them compete for it instead, and they decide not to help that person in the end.
Yeah, that's a damn good point.
Viper
Yeah.
MOTORSON enters.
Y'all are a bunch of scoundrels.
And you all are nothing but a bunch of bumbling, barefoot yokels.
How dare you? Boo, boo. Come on, everybody. Boo,
Boo.
boo, boo, boo. This is a non-union gig. Anyway, throw your popcorn, everyone. You in the audience, throw it. You guys suck.
You guys suck! You guys suck!
You suck.
You, sir!
Boy walks up to Viper and Heath.
You, sir! You hurt my feelings and made me cry a little bit. And you have way too many teeth! Shame! Shame! Shame!
Wait a minute!
Shame.
Not shame.
Tear it down! Tear it down! Tear it down!
The audience throws things at the stage, and Heath, Viper, and Patty Lee starting to cause damage and chaos.
Interns, bring me my mouth guard.
Please, this face really costs quite a bit of money.
Not the kaboom! Don't hit the kaboom!
Stop! Everybody stop!
Birdie unplugs her guitar from her amp, and screechy feedback sings out. Everyone covers their ears. Birdie unplugs the amp, and there is silence.
Y'all are really gonna watch someone be shamed for an entire hour, then turn around and do the same thing to the shamers? I may be young, but I know an eye for an eye is not the vibe.
But I like throwing things at them. They don't deserve this.
Just turn it off, man. Turn the TV off.
Turn it off.
You heard them. Grab those remotes.
The audience turns off the TV, and the stage lights fade to black. The lights come back up on Birdie, Patty Lee, Good Old Boy, Southern Belle, and an empty stage.
It's all gone.
Hallelujah.
Oh, Birdie, I don't understand. Why on earth didn't you just do what we talked about? This was your dream.
Yeah, it still is, but not like this. I can't be the redneck superstar you want me to be.
That's right. Those terms don't define her.
Thanks, good old boy. I'm still a redneck, though, and I am still a superstar.
You're not, though, Birdie. You'll never be. You have to go back to the trailer and the poverty in this awful town with horrible people. It's failure, and you could have succeeded. I wanted you to get out of this town. I wanted you to change.
But I don't need that kind of changing.
Of course you do.
No, I don't. The kind of changes I want to make are inside me, Patty. I watched people I've known my whole life say horrible things about people with different skin colors. And if they say those things on screen, things must be so much worse off screen. Fern Grove has problems, but they have nothing to do with being poor or loving trucks or wearing clothes from Walmart.
Or liking butter.
A real redneck is someone who stands alongside black and brown people, people from different backgrounds. A real redneck is someone who is united with everybody against those who want to take advantage of us, make fun of us, and make us feel small.
Well, some groups of people actually want to help, Birdie. We would never take advantage of you.
But you did, Patty. All of you did. Using my poverty, struggles, and shame just to sell cars? Trying to both crucify and shine a light on rednecks, or what you think us to be. A real redneck sees other people doing things that are hurtful and helps them learn to change. Fern Grove, Arkansas is my home. Nothing will get better here if I run away from it right now. I can be a superstar in my own backyard. And a lot of people heard me sing my story tonight, Patty. One way or another, my music is going to change the world. Far more than a reality TV contest ever could.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
Song number 12, Am I the Asshole?
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely the asshole.
Shame. Shame.
Stop.
Shame.
Stop.
Birdie gives Patty a hug.
It's good that you feel kind of bad, but shaming yourself won't make anything better. You didn't make all of this up, and neither did I. There was always room for another world-changing redneck at the table.
Birdie ties a red bandana around Patty's neck. Song number 13, Change the World Reprise.
We're gonna change the world, one asshole at a time. Change the world, it's what we're called to do. If we dream it, we can make it. It's our chance, we're gonna take it. Oh, America, we promise now to you. We're gonna change the world.
Wanna come over? Yeah. Wanna come over for dinner and meet my mama?
Yes, I'd like that a lot, but I don't eat squirrel.
Wow. There are a few things we need to work on. But hey, I'm learning that's true for all of us. I'll bring just the person to help. Nettie, you're invited too. Nettie? Nettie?
Who is Nettie?
Whoa. Was Nettie really me all along?
Nettie pops onto the stage wearing a red bandana.
Nah, bitch, I'm reeling on everywhere. Come on, rednecks.
The stage lights emulate sunset colors over a projection of a bumper sticker. It's Calvin of Calvin and Hobbes, taking a leak on the Viper motorboard. Patty, Lee, Birdie, and Nettie skip off into the sunset. The end.
Thank you so much to all those wonderful actors and stage direction for doing this. We're just like a quick 5-minute break and then let them take a break and clean the popcorn off themselves. I'm gonna grab the vacuum and clean the popcorn. And yeah, just in 5 minutes or so, if anybody was able to stay, I'd love to just hear feedback on everything, anything and everything. Tear it apart. Jamie.
Yeah. You too. That was so fun. Change the world. And now I want to hear more of this time.
Popcorn is out. The same.
It all went at you.
I loved your voice. Oh my god. It sounded like Mater from Cars.
Knock off Larry Cable. Great work.
Are you okay?
Very funny. I really love this guy.
Are you okay?
I'm good, I think. I'm gonna put you down, but I don't want to knock her.
Yeah, this one.
You know what, I'm gonna let you hop down ahead of me. Just for balance.
Hi there, I'm the artistic director of New Musicals Inc. and I'm switching to
You're like Carol Burnett.
Yes, the Char woman.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to speak from what's on the stage down?
I think I've
Here.
got it.
We're gonna have to run. Oliviana's got a Zoom meeting at 5.
Oh, okay.
But I wrote down some stuff.
Good work. Yeah, just make sure Angela gets it. Thanks, you guys. Good stuff. Thank you.
Got so high.
Was that? I think all of it, yeah, there's a stage getting down here. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
I just want everyone else to work. Yeah. I took it like I know
whose this is, but I'm pretty sure it's yours.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm coming in for your popcorn.
Yeah, probably.
Is this like a festival of
I
new
think it's
musicals?
like, I think that, yeah. this
Yes,
one-
usually I do an announcement at the top, but Angela just started without me. Yeah, this, Angela was part of a group of writing teams that were writing shows this season with us, and they're all getting readings this weekend.
Oh, cool, okay.
So there was one on Friday, and 2 yesterday, and 1 today, and 1 tomorrow.
Amazing.
Yeah, we were in one together.
Yeah, just put it all together.
Get to head out.
to run.
No
I'm sorry,
problem.
but I do want to talk to you about it. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
thank you so much. You are amazing and I love you a lot.
Thank you.
I love this concept and everything.
Oh, yeah, it took me a long time to like, it took me a long time to get to the point where I would show it to anybody.
Well, you know
Like,
what?
I cleared
As
away
far
at
as the valley is the rough
I feel like you're a lot. I'm like, well, whatever it's flat. But I'm hoping it's a little
Thailand.
okay, just think about it a little bit, you know? But, felt like really sort of. I have oh, God, I have,
Probably.
She got about 2 weeks in. She's like, Charlie also got 2 weeks in to stay with grandparents.
you said 2 weeks, oh, right.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was a really good piece.
I'm like, oh.
You're right.
Look at your
Very.
That's fine. Oh! It finally got like, it's like, okay, it was just like, this was the concept of it. It was not, it was, you were making it a reality. Like, it was not audience.
You eat.
I'll put it on another one.
Like this, I thought it was short, relatively short.
That's a good idea.
I like the format.
Oh, you put it.
Yeah.
It's also like, I'm like, there are parts where I'm like, I still, oh, and I'm like, oh, I'm not in this part, you know, because it's so.
Actually, the opposite. Yeah, I my cousins on my
Yeah.
website.
How that continues to probably grow is my guess.
Yeah, so,
Amazing. Thanks for asking me.
oh my God, thank you for being here. How's yesterday? Did everything go?
I'm sensitive. Never heard of this.
Those days are way past.
This weekend I've done two readings.
And all of the,
I think it's so wonderful.
kid shows are great.
Oh, yes, it
Amazing.
went really well. I mean, we didn't know. You were there day one. I mean, we had no idea how that was going.
But
The
also,
whole program was very ambitious,
all
and
of their ideas are so good.
the donors loved it, they produced it, the kids loved it, they got a bunch out of it, so we might get more money, we might be able to make it a little bigger next year.
Good,
and,
that's so great.
Get into some other like production
Those
elements.
kids were so funny. I mean, they had good ideas from the get-go.
Yeah, and they were like best friends by the end of
I
it.
could tell, they were awesome. They were
Yeah,
lovely. Yeah. I don't know if you were staying, just say that.
Lauren knows the terms.
I did it
Actual
twice.
RN.
Awesome.
I'm a pro now. I've learned like everything. Yeah, we did two of them.
Are you giving handouts?
I am. One of them is questions.
Okay, I'll wait, I'll stick around for that.
Sit up here, Angela, so can you see over here?
Oh, I guess I should do that. So, thank you so much to everybody for both being here and also being a part of it and everything. So I have I want feedback on just everything in general too, but I know that could lead to chaos. I have a list of questions, actually, that I can read, but I also will just hand them out. So you can kind of think about, yeah, I guess I printed, there's like blank pages behind it, I guess, because that's me, at least. Just, I need to grab my iPad so I can take some notes.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, we can share.
And it can be just like talk, like an open talk thing, because there are more. Behind them.
Got it.
I guess first of all, just what was confusing to you about anything and everything? I'm just gonna take some notes.
I think it was weird. I'm confused by this, but it felt to me like we went from, oh, this is funny, it's taking so many, tropes and making me giggle about them in a way that I'm embarrassed by, to, I'm hearing everything you say, you are sorry, but to a place where, it went from me being embarrassed by about my laughing to feeling like, wait, this is going to be possible. This is going to have spin, right? It's Angela, so it will. and then the positive spin. But there was it almost felt to me like there was a lull in there where I was like, it really is. It really is, right?
Mm.
And I wonder if there might have been a teeny more positive, or I don't know how to do it, but
That's a great point. I don't know if the pacing,
positive foreshadowing or something.
This was, oh God, so many different story ideas. It was at one point a 10-episode podcast, then it was a 2-act thing, and it's a brand new script that I was like, no, I need to do this a week ago because deadlines are the only way I function. So pacing could absolutely be it.
But the rest of the pacing, I didn't start out by saying I loved it. It was so funny. I was laughing the whole time. And also, I wish I could have continued more of the song because I was.
They're not written yet.
The loud laughter.
You're all welcome to give feedback on the songs. They're so bare bones though, so don't feel like you have to. But you can if you want.
So it's funny because it's funny, and then there's also it's Angela and it's funny. But that was the only thing. Otherwise, I thought the pacing was great.
Thank you. I do have to say that the intentional rope you in with a title and make you feel a little bad about laughing is the goal.
Sure.
And I don't know, I feel a little bad about that now because I love you so much. I'm like, oh no, that's what I wanted to do.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
I understood that was the point. It's okay.
No.
Then that happened with the character. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think I should piggyback on that because I am a redneck. I really grew up a cattle ranching daughter. My whole family are good old boys. I'm in
all Texas, right?
All Texas, yeah. And I grew up in the country, and I was not offended. So I think you could go further with the offense. I think, honestly, because at no point did I feel even redneck. To me, I'm sure you've done your research and probably more than I do how people react to that word. But I wasn't that offended by it, And so I think if you're going for a shock factor or I felt Birdie's anger about what was said about her, I don't think you went far enough in a way to offend and to throw jokes at I think the first part of it for me could be even further. The jokes could be harsher and even more, there was one towards the end that I felt was just a good singer. But I think more of that. And I'll try to find it in the script and tell you which one it was. But I think you can go so much further with the offensiveness, honestly.
That's good to know. Yeah, it's it feels like irresponsibility on my part. Totally. But then I'm like, oh no, maybe it's not because if you, I don't know. That's such a good point.
Make the journey of the social justice stuff, it has to be earned in a way.
I love that.
By how far you've gone with it all, and also just in general, I think my overall note with the pacing of the sections that address social justice and what you're trying to do, I think it's a little bit dense. I think you can start to trim some of that, and in fact, one of the ways I think is to maybe move the Birdie where I I think there was like a section where you're talking about some social justice issues, and then you also add in Birdie's stuff that she was saying about herself. And I think you could move that to another section, so it just doesn't feel like so much heavy-handedness at one time.
Yes. And it's hard to like not make it like this is an instructional video, an educational person telling. It's so I'm like
There was
many.
really just sort of one spot where that happened. I think.
It's like this is a
Whereas
teaching moment.
I would agree that moment when Nettie read back to Birdie what her original comments were, and she was shocked to hear what her opinion was, is to me like the most exciting part about the show. 'Cause it's one thing to say you're changing other people's minds, but the fact that Birdie realizes that she was doing it as well.
Right.
And she had, and so it's
I'm
about
glad
her
that came
transformation. I think that's really cool, and I would agree, you can push all of that even further.
That's cool. I didn't.
Because like piggybacking on that as well, I'd say just take a look at Birdie's arc and kind of what she believes about herself or doesn't in the beginning, middle, and end. Because I also like that middle moment feels like it could be hit, like it could hit really hard.
Yeah.
Because the stuff at the beginning, I wrote down, well, is she real or a stereotype? Because at the beginning I wasn't familiar with the project, and it felt like she was being a stereotype, which I know is part of the point. But she is a character experiencing it. So is she playing for the art? Like, what is she doing in that moment? Because she doesn't realize she said it later. So
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways she's still the least interesting character. Maybe because she's a mix of me and my mom, and it's like I feel like I know them. I don't need to. No, I do need to know. Yeah, I'm like, and that's been the case since the very beginning. I'm like, she's more interesting now than she was, but yeah. That's so helpful. Do I have my own questions up here?
Angela, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, totally.
With the mother, I assume that song and the mother, like, it's an empathetic character, is that correct, right? Like, we go into it with preconceptions and then we see the heartbreak. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was like, that's how I was seeing it, I just wanted to make sure I was right on that. And then, I thought, and again, I can offer up no solutions, only, when Birdie starts dipping into the commercials in real time, I guess I don't completely see that yet in my head on how it's going to work for you. So I'm not sure if you need to ease us into that more, or if there's a different way to I see the point of it. I see why you're doing that. For me it was a little like I don't know. It didn't completely work for me. I don't know why. So it's maybe something just.
I think because it was poorly executed, perhaps.
No.
That good old way after.
I think no. I mean, like, I think on my part, no. No, on my part, because I was like, this is what I want to happen. Some of this is like, this is what I would like to happen, like a
But you would
suggestion.
like it to be very shocking, right? Like it really should hit us like, oh my God, Birdie's in the commercial.
I'd like it to slowly break down, kind of to slowly break apart. Like, we know it's this weird, we know it's just something kind of a bizarre, surreal, sort of weird experience you're looking at.
And you had the earlier moment when she realized the person in the could hear her.
Little things like
So
that,
maybe
it's like, oh.
Maybe you need a couple more of those scenes and to lead us to it.
I agree. I wasn't really sure what our resolution was supposed to be, or our table was supposed to be about.
So. Yes.
I'd like to know that there was so much talk about, wait, the whole point of this is only to sell cars. Because I feel like, I feel like I spend 45% of my life just trying to be a conscious consumer, and sometimes I spend the rest of it like explaining to people how and why I do that, and they don't. It sometimes feels to me like the rest of the world doesn't realize it's all a big ad.
Right.
So I thought that was really great. It might be interesting to sort of campify that a little bit, like even more. Like the way your character was so stereotypical and campy in that way was fucking hysterical. So like you did that well, and now it can't be any other way.
Yeah.
But like there might be something even more where once it's presented, everybody's like, you know.
Yeah, I think the awkwardness that can ensue from these moments, and maybe the timing of when they come in the scenes and stuff, can help make them even more like disjointed, I guess. You know?
Yeah, I love, that's awesome. This is also helpful. It's like, yeah, there's so much good stuff. And all the accents were so funny and like surprised me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like even funnier than I thought. Like you made the words funny. It was great.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I know it's like not the point of it, but I did have a hard time latching onto like the framework of like what is this show, just because we all watch lots of like reality TV competition and it doesn't map like really to, it's not an American Idol, there's like not other contestants, and so that was hard to latch onto and figure out like what the stakes were in any individual moment of like the challenge.
That's a good point. I thought about, well, maybe having other contestants.
Yeah.
Because there weren't other contestants, I'll agree that was kind of, it wasn't that it was confusing, it was sort of like, is this a makeover show, or is it actually a contestant show? So there might be some sort of.
That's a good idea.
It was, you did say, when she announced what the show was, she said that it was Birdie against audience response or something, which I thought was very cool, but maybe that should have been stronger, that that's the competition. It was not against the entire audience.
That's a very good point, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's really the theme of the whole show, right? Right, the audience is
Public opinion.
Yeah.
Public opinion.
And, yeah, and her versus herself.
I mean, like, however you want to take it, like, I think there is also, like, a clear angle, if there are other contestants, the idea of, like, the rich people are, like, just putting the, like, making the poor folks fight for scraps.
I
Like,
love that.
it's within that, so I think it could go either way, but, I think just a more familiar, maybe, framework, like, reality framework, TV framework.
Yeah, like it also didn't get lost that she spent over $100,000 in time on being rich and famous. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, in real life, you know what that gets you.
exactly.
I have you a question about, so
Yeah.
the voting in this, because I don't know if your vision is, because it sounds, the way it's written right now, it seems like the voting is all fake. Right?
Voting is fake.
So just think about that in terms of the audience and the fact with like participation versus not, whether it's supposed to be perceived participation. Are they also being conned?
That's an interesting. So the voting is fake. My actual idea, which I didn't expect anybody to hold them up and let other people see what you were doing, but I just let you keep doing it because I was like, that's interesting. But the idea is that you just press the button and you don't, and no one knows what you're doing, kind of, and then like you don't really know what other people around you are doing either. But you were very honest and just showed everybody, which is great. I just had, I mean, they were just like I just taped something shitty to a
But you
coaster.
figure
But
it could be full, like, because you could be in like a Drew situation where like people might want to see it twice and go like, wait, my votes didn't count.
interesting.
So nothing, I'm saying like, and people are going to come see your show so many times. But you never know when you have repeat audience members, and that's part of the experience. And
It's like 5 years later than now. But
I had the same question and thought, because, like, if you're going to give us seeming like that agency, at a certain point, if it doesn't seem like what we're doing has any influence on it, it's sort of, you feel a little cheated.
Sure. Is that good? Like, right now, I'm kind of glad you felt cheated, because I think in some way, that's sort of like a way of saying, because like, we've all known people that have been on the shows and they're definitely rigged in one way or
I
another.
assumed that was, I actually just assumed that was part of it. Like, I didn't stop holding up my thing, but like, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh right, this one has nothing
I
to
mean,
do with it.
there's so much it could be done with it. Like, I could make it, like, I think making it real would be really risky. Or I don't know, I mean, there'd be interesting to me to do that.
It becomes a different kind of show.
And then it doesn't necessarily
So
end the way
it's-
you want.
Yeah.
You also have a line that said like, you know, like, and you think that the vote counts.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be much.
Yeah. Like that would deal with it, right?
That, yeah.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
The harder path, I think, for you is to make both endings work. And I think that's the more exciting path. I think if you're gonna have the audience interaction, you should get it more involved.
Yeah, I mean, just how effective is it? I want the audience to feel like they're being manipulated a little bit too.
Super effective.
But they're also
It's like they're in
very
the jury
big
box.
I mean, you can always have that, like, it's essentially like, regardless of how the audience votes, when you get to that 3/4 point moment, it always goes back to, you guys are gonna,
That's a
like,
good
you don't
idea.
really care what the audience voted for, I mean, one way or another.
If you do go down a route of like having the audience vote like reflected in the like narrative, it doesn't also have to necessarily be like voting people off for like big sort of branching things, but things that color it. So like instead of fully changing things, but change how like she responds to it or the hosts like react to it.
That's kind of fun.
And that way you still can sort of, there's, have you heard of the Telltale video game? super narrative, like video games, like a Batman one, where seemingly you can like make all these like crazy choices and like it all sort of works out. There's like a million possibilities, but they do some sort of like hand-wavy trickery where it's not like an exponential branching map that like things always just come back, but certain things are colored differently based on choices you made earlier. Right?
It's like the choose,
Yeah, a choose your own ending musical is actually a really fun idea to me, and I like part of me is like that would be so fun, and I'm also like, oh my god, I cannot, my brain like cannot right now, but I want to a little bit. Like once I can take a couple weeks and just cry.
And I think it's still like a version of that too, of
Yeah.
like then having it impact, but then also showing like a producer like thumb on the scale, like to influence the actual ending too. Like you can probably still have like some of both.
I mean, you could always have them both happen, and then the performer response, like, to what the next beat is a producer stepping in and being like,
Yeah.
so.
Or like, it's like, okay, and then my vote counts for 75%.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
So you can like corral it back.
That's cool.
Me too.
It also depends on what, where you see this happening. This is a theatrical event, but you implied to us that there was a studio audience, but also a worldwide audience. So those of us in the studio might feel like we're voting a certain way, but we have no concept of what the world is voting.
Yeah.
And like, is it teachable moments heavy-handed, like on purpose because you see this being performed at high school as well as the US? Or
I think it's probably more heavy-handed of get my idea of what I want to say and how I kind of want to say it on the page at first. And it's sort of like, I guess that it also brings me back to like, I want to make it as lighthearted as I can. But I don't want people to, I want it to still affect people.
yeah, I like my favorite movie when I was in high school were like Citizen Ruth, like social satire stuff, Clueless. And so I feel like at a certain age, there's a certain amount of like leaving it up to the audience that we can take. Then I'm thinking about like what would my kid think if she watched this, and like it would have to have gotten where it went. You know, if in a couple of years she were to watch it, she would have. It has to have a. And here's the moral.
Yeah, I
Which
think
it did.
I think one reason it's so heavy-handed is because a lot of people just don't know this stuff about Southerners and about a lot of people, you know, and so it's designed to educate those who don't know and make them think about how they view things.
I think you achieved that really well.
I'm not too. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's such a tricky balance because the thing that I don't want. It was so interesting that some people are laughing too at like, and I don't want to say like the word. I don't want any actual racist phrases.
I love that you did that. That it was just like say racist things, say really racist things, say
so
overtly racist comments.
Yeah, and I was like, because I want that to be. I mean, like, and it's I want it to be like. There's also the thought of like by not saying it, am I like, softening something that's really serious.
No, you're making me use my imagination.
That was the point. But
and
the rest.
my imagination is probably different people are gonna be words or less.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that too because I'm finding with having a child that like if I hadn't accidentally brought something up not about racism but like my own negative self-talk, she would never have thought like she wouldn't think she's a piece of shit. She thinks she's awesome.
Because she's
get that from?
Because she's Charlie. Because she's awesome.
Right, but like she. Well, and because we raised her in an environment where.
Well.
We give her that sense of self, but then even giving her that, like my own crap comes through, and then I see that and I'm like, crap thing. So yeah, like her imagination wouldn't be as bad as what mine would say, but she knows what racism is, and it would work. I think it works for anybody, and I really like that you didn't put that in our heads, and you just made us imagine sort of the words that we could imagine somebody saying.
I thought the opposite.
Counterpoint. I had a feeling you were going to say counterpoint. Should I just say it?
Yeah, because I think I totally understand and like I think very thoughtful to be like don't want to have to like the actors or the people who are there standing on stage like it's their face, it's their voice. having to say these things.
Oh, interestingly,
Like-
I wanted to not, so I love that you said that. I didn't want, it, which they should be white actors. I don't want to perpetuate,
No,
right?
Exactly, so I.
Not for their sakes, but for the sake of people listening, right? Totally.
I totally, like, I think that's like really commendable, but I worry that it, by not,
Mm.
you don't get to, like, if someone like said the N-word,
Mhm.
like, that's gonna, like, I'm gonna react
Yeah.
in a very different way than
Right.
a sort of generic thing. So I don't know if there's like a way, like, in between where it's like, you're just hearing it, so like no one like has to like stand on stage and
Boy.
say it, but
Yeah.
I think there's like that episode of Ted Lasso where they like shout the F slur and like that's the crux of the episode, but they like have an air horn that like covers it.
Ah.
And it's
Oh.
supposed to be this like visceral moment, but it like robs, like I felt it like robbed the viewer of that, what the characters were experiencing.
Yeah.
Like that sort of dis-
And I
Just
wonder.
hearing the idea of the N-word, rather than
Yeah.
saying it, like,
Saying the phrase.
character says
the
the
yeah.
N-word.
Says the phrase.
Right.
I mean, there's yeah. It's I think like what one thing that would be appealing and I really want to do is just have especially more Black people listen to this and like help like how or have drama like pay them for their time, dramaturgs, like to get their opinion too, people of color in general. Because I certainly don't want people to be like, you are softening the blow for people. Because in many ways it's about white people working out their shit and just talking about it. But talking about it in a room with mostly other white people is helpful too. And it's like, but
yeah, or like I think there's like some other like in between ways where like you hear the hard end, like the start of it, and then it leaps the rest of it out. And like there's you can still see them mouthing, something where you go, oh, like to just a little more to so you have that arresting moment.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of fill in the blanks.
Yeah, like that's the last syllable you hear before they cut out to backfill those who can't know.
Yeah, these are so good ideas. Like I think no matter what I choose, right, it's gonna be.
The tricky part too is that it does open you up a little criticism as the writer of it, of, this is your opinion of what the worst thing is.
Sure. Yeah.
Which isn't, like that is where you should absolutely ask other, like writers of color, what those lines would even mean for them. Because the white person's opinion of the worst thing to say is,
Totally.
probably would be different depending on what group you're asking.
Completely. And I wonder if I think that's probably why it took me so long to show this to anybody was because I really did not want to do something irresponsible.
I think it's going to take more polling and more
So much
focus
more.
groups and more tests.
Oh, yeah.
For you to figure out the best way to
It
approach it.
feels like the very beginning now as opposed to, you know what I mean?
Years ago.
Yeah, but in a really good, not in a like, oh crap, in a, like a good way. I'm like, all right, now it feels like I know.
I think the line in that moment, it doesn't have to be the worst possible thing. Really, if you think about it, it just has to be the bad enough for the network to cut one to cut off.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
You can just like start and then build and build. It doesn't have to be, like
the worst
the
possible.
worst possible racist comment ever you've ever heard. And I actually think it'd be more powerful for it to just be like a tiny bit racist at the beginning.
Like something that's kind of throwaway to that.
Completely. Because that really is the culture. I mean, like that's not that racist. You know what I mean?
100%, yes.
And yeah, I think that kind of playing around with that part of the culture would be really good in that moment. You
That's
know?
cool.
Like to the point where like Southern white people like may not find that offensive. But other people would. So
I feel like there's
a lot of
some
different things to play with there, Angela. And
Yeah.
I think, to play devil's advocate on the other side, it might be that what you want to play with is not so much what they're saying. You might be able to keep the, insert racist slur here, and that it's more about the reaction of the people.
Oh.
That to make us understand how bad it's supposed to be, because it's about Birdie. It's more than anything, it's about Birdie realizing that she's been listening to this all her life and not really taking it in. So in some ways, it's more about her reaction to me.
Or that these people she knows and loves so much could possibly think these things, even though, we don't see the warm parts.
And on the other hand, that you casually drop a lot of redneck slurs all over the show, constantly, about, not having teeth and this other kind of stuff. So it may be true that what you're looking for are the kind of casual racist slurs that people say and honestly don't think they are slurs.
Yeah, that's sort of what I.
To me, it was that kind of music that was the really like.
I think at that point it is supposed to be like, I hope that does not elicit laughter, but it might. I hope it doesn't elicit laughter. People are like, oh, this is actually not, like this is it takes like a quick dark turn. But
Yeah, that one didn't make me laugh that one.
Jess, were you?
Yeah, having read an earlier iteration of this, like, I felt like because you were ahead of time, you're like, oh, social justice message. And for me, it felt like it was sort of a different message. And so I was trying to sort of put those together and understand, like, so this one didn't, for me, land as much. The first one, I felt like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it was more humanizing the Southerner and humanizing the redneck, and it was like, oh, they're more complicated, and there was like the gay characters, and there's like the, and it's like looking more into the humanity of their struggle and their poverty or their suffering or their, whatever.
Did you read the whole script that I'd sent at that time?
Yeah.
Because I know we only read through half of it, but.
What's that?
I think you read to the end on your own, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this one, it was the racist comment, blah, 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 where it cuts away. It felt like a somewhat, it's absolutely, when you're talking about Southern, it's very important to talk about racism. But it felt like two different topics to me, like the Southern racism, but then also like the sort of humanizing of like the hillbilly and of her and her family. And it was like they were humanized, but they weren't racist. And then there's like these other racists who were never really humanized. And I was sort of like, what exactly what are we doing here?
There's
like,
a really good point. I wonder if her mother maybe needs to be one of the people that says something, or her mother walks by and agrees.
Right.
Because it's, I think, yeah, I totally agree. And I think that I knew I had too much going on in the other version. And the idea, hopefully.
But like, I
so,
think it's alright.
No, the idea, hopefully, is that you like the idea of pride in who you are as a Southerner must be inherently tied to also to being a non-racist person. Like you can feel really good about being a redneck because that is part of the definition.
Yeah.
So that they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do in an hour.
Yeah.
But the other one felt a little like it was social issue, like every social issue, But that's I think maybe I do need to humanize or yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to, but it just, to me, it felt like two sort of different missions. And I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to be focusing on.
That's.
Angela, I very much felt the same. I was trying to figure out, you said, but I was trying to how do exactly put that? Because I was going to ask, you just answered my question. I was going to ask you, well, what is it that you want out of this? And you just said you want pride. But I think it is a tricky thing because you're towing the line of being almost an apologist in a way. And I'm like, is this the piece to tackle that as much? And that's what I'm wondering. It's like, but also to the point, just point, like that's part of the thing too. And it's like, so I see your plight a little bit here because you want to make sure you're not sugarcoating anything.
Exactly.
At the same time, it's taking on a subject that is that's tricky because it's like it's hard to humanize a racist person. It's just hard. It's hard if someone's overtly racist. At least for us, I know for me anyway. I'm like, that sucks. Like why? And so even if they're like, but I'm a nice guy. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to get. It was hard for me to get the point of having the pride of being a Southerner when you bring up that subject. Can I just tell you what I connect to, and this is kind of a part. If I were to just for me detach and take out the trying to tackle that, and not just Southerners, this to me was commentary on poor people and how people see poor people. And I grew up very poor too. You know, I grew up like, I couldn't even get to trailers. I was in motels. So like, for me, I love the aspect of humanizing people that are just trying to live their lives. I looked at the mom said it. It's like we get by, or the door falls off. I'm good with a screwdriver. We're like industrious. We're good. And so to me, I thought, a part of me wonders, and I don't know, if like you just go further with that thing. I don't know how to address that aspect of it. But to me, like kind of Jess was saying, it does feel like a little bit like two issues that seems like it's gonna be hard. It's a hard, I don't know how to do it, but there's a way. It's gonna be hard to fully realize the Southern pride with the aspect of like, but I'm not racist. I don't know, it's hard. It's hard.
It's like, so maybe I can finally, because I didn't show this at the beginning, maybe this won't explain anything. I mean, I have like the writer's statement that goes with this because I didn't want to color how you saw the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, but just like basically, like the idea that like you find your Southern pride when you align yourself with anti-racism. Like it has to be part of the puzzle because that is such a big thing. That sort of, it's like, it's yeah, I don't know. I can just pass these out too, but I won't read it to you because you can read them. But like, so I'm the granddaughter of an Appalachian coal miner. My mother is from Harrison, Arkansas, which was the capital of the Klan, like the headquarters for a long time. So it's kind of my mom's story, and it's like, how do you find pride in your identity? How do you find pride in an identity that it is one of the last things that people still are okay with skewering because of how people of color are treated, and like finding like a personal stake in like social justice and like not even just, you know, it's like the concept of like the mutual liberation being like, well, my pride in myself and who I am and finding like my self-worth, you know, without being shamed or being poor or being whatever, trashy or whatever, is aligned with that mutual like all together liberation, like stand up against the people that try to oppress and divide us based on things like race. And I think, because it started as a little bit more of just exploring that part that we were talking about. And the more I'm like, well, I feel like I can't have the show, I can't not talk about it, you know? Because it is such a big thing.
I'm curious though, that history, like your lineage, like I would love to hear that in that character. And I'm wondering too if there's a way to show even within the mother and her that they are super active in fighting social justice, and like maybe that is doused out from the get-go from the producers. Like the mother has like in this house we believe in love and you know, those great things, and like, oh, we're gonna have to get rid of this. Doesn't fit the narrative.
I'd like to show.
That's not Southern, that's not redneck.
I just wonder, I don't know. That's just an offer, you know. But.
I'd like to. I love that. And I'd like to show her getting to that point. Not because she's anti that, or.
She is that, but from the beginning, is that right? Or
I
is
don't
she
think. I
discovering
think Birdie is. It's really her. It's kind of like exploring, learning all this stuff through her.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because she's so young. She
Right.
hasn't faced it and dealt with it and figured it out, and it's her journey of realizing it.
And really, kind of, it's what I feel like it felt like to grow up. And I'm, from Kansas, not from Arkansas, but this is like half of my family, and trying to like make sense and process this whole. Now my mom is still very like super ashamed of all of this, and as it's like that's like when she's like my stomach hurts, it's like it should, because this is awful. And that part's not excusable. You don't find pride in that. You find pride in standing up against that, and that's your goal. Which is why she wants to stay there and like try to make things better. Yeah. Which is, not going to be an easy thing, and probably not going to go well for her.
What if there's a connection between her coal mining ancestry and, like if that's in there, there's a lot of pride she can take in what a redneck is.
Yeah, like directly, not just saying like saying that she has that, because that's, my grandpa did it in Arkansas, but it's still kind of the same thing.
Yeah, like, oh, I didn't realize that we were union fighting.
Yeah.
but like, you know, or asking her mom, like, hey, did your dad, or, you know.
Because really, that's what it felt like for me, being like, you know.
If that's a source of pride, then she, you know, you can really sort of probably see that in her face, but she's like, you guys.
Yeah, I think the mom's scene with them and the producers could be fleshed out a little bit more in general.
Yeah.
And like, one of the notes that I had, even just in briefly like reading through it in the moment, was I thought that she had a little bit more like shame than she should have had. And again, like, I'm coming from like a Texan, you're coming from an Arkansas, so maybe that's the difference. But like, for instance, the line that was like, I know this place isn't much, but we get by, or I know it looks pretty bad. Like, I don't think that she would have said that. I honestly think she would just be like, oh, the door falls off with a single hinge. Like, going from, it hasn't been easy, but I wouldn't trade my kid for anything. The door falls off. I'm handy with a screwdriver. You know what I mean? Just like, always having like an excuse kind of, or like, you know, but not so handy with a broom. You know, well, I didn't know we were having company. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think there's a little more toughness in her maybe, and that song that she could have could incorporate some of the pride of the being a coal miner's like daughter or whatever. The American Dream song.
And like,
yeah.
what's wrong with this? Like,
I love
down around.
That's okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I think that was your sense of like, if this were my door.
And my mom's. And 100% my mom's.
There you go.
Like, always apologizing for like everything and like being embarrassed. Like, wouldn't let us have people over because my own home was not in good shape growing up, you know, and that kind of thing. Like,
I just thought it was like a bit of a
it totally
mismatch of the message of like being proud of being the fact that you didn't come from much, but you still pulled yourself up out of bootstraps mentality. And like, you know, I don't know. There was that for me that didn't. It felt like a commentary on them instead of an authentic portrayal of the person that actually walked that life and had a child at 17 and still was able to support them.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like, at what point are they characters and what point are they caricatures? And they're a little bit of both right now, and that's not 100% clear.
Right.
And it's not 100% clear to me either. And it's a little bit not. And there's also like a little bit, like I don't want anyone to walk out thinking any of it's apologist at all, right? So that's like the thing that
I don't think that's your
right?
intention at all, but.
Well, but it could come across that way, and that's like, that's where the responsibility issue goes. But like, it's also like, there's so much, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm trying to have like.
I think you're on a good track though, showing that there is caricature to it, but that's not all it is, and that the audience and outsiders will choose to only see the caricature. And that's why we created this show. The show is just to make fun of the caricature of it, but that there's clearly more to it. But when you scratch the surface, you find bad stuff too. And I think you're going in that direction pretty strong right now. But to Meredith's point about like a 17-year-old single mom, like all the single moms that I know, 17 or not, like are other than
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I wonder if like this idea of like what does that mean to like redneck pride, and like the sort of complicated relationship that you and maybe like Birdie might have to that, if then that becomes like the central focus of like the TV show competition. Like it's more like not like Miss America or like sort of pageant thing, but like, oh, we're looking for the like top America's Next Top
Redneck?
Supers.
It was that.
Okay.
At one point, and I do wonder if that's, and it's easier to make it a musical than a singing competition, or it's easier to sort of trick people, but it is really interesting.
Like the competition thing. And that was a note I had where I was also like,
yeah.
You know, when you're watching like whatever American Idol Boys, it's always like, you know, they can't just all do all singing; it's too expensive. So they're like, it's like all sorts of filler between. They like never get to the singing. So I like wonder if there's like a way to like stretch that out too.
That's cool. That's a good point.
But then it just Birdie's like internal conflict can be them like to win to get what she wants. She has to exemplify being the like whatever all aspects of the redneck that she realize it's like she doesn't feel good about all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
And then it might just be like more explicitly clear your viewpoint.
I do like Hawaii. Like America's Next Top Redneck. I mean, it was kind of like that. It was actually about like unwedneck. It was about of my teenage mothers, like when I first started too. But there's like so many, like I've got, I have the ADHD thing, or like it was about, there was some opioid addiction in there, and there was some this and that, and there was definitely always racism. And there wasn't an element of like talking about racism in front, and I'm like, yep, I just can't not.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and like it won't ever be, like, it's like you can't ever be truly proud of all that is until we fix that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's also sort of like, the only way that I think, because it is essentially a show about white people shit and working on amongst each other, it's like, this is a show where I'm sort of like, which I don't really appreciate, and also like people of color may not dig it, or want to be subjected to it, and that's totally cool. But also I would hate for them to experience it and feel like, ugh, But, yeah.
But it's possible, like Thanksgiving did that really
Oh, yeah.
Poor white people just like really fucking that up, you know what I mean? And they still address it. I don't think that's not, I think it's definitely possible if it's done, can be done very well, and I think you're on the right track with that. Just
take a lot of tweaking.
It's fucking dicey.
It's hard.
It's really fucking dicey, and I fucking get it.
Yeah.
As the very rare minority white man voice in this room, you know what I mean? Like, I get that on a wider spectrum of white being white in general, being like there's a lot of shit. It's really bad, and like I'm ashamed, and like I don't want to speak up, but I also can't shit on myself all the time, and I can't shit on my path, but I have to acknowledge that that we're going through, we're figuring it out, we're navigating it, and it's like, I can't just fucking kill myself. But at the same time, you gotta acknowledge the problem.
Exactly.
We're all living with leaves here.
This
All over the wall, but
yeah.
like I understand just even just macro. I understand what it is and why it's frustrating too, especially coming from that place and being like, I can't just close the door on my past who I am as a human, but I also like, what do you do? And so I feel it. Maybe it doesn't. There is no neat bow at the end of it. Maybe there is no solution here.
And you don't really know what happens when she goes back home.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a comedy, because I don't want people to walk away and be like, well, it's not like a heartwarming or making you cry. It's really not that. It's like silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a personal stake and liberation story, and I need to make it, I don't know, maybe just making that the point even more clear.
Can I ask you a character? This is more of a leading, like reading dramaturgically to investigate.
Absolutely.
Does Birdie think she has to change at the beginning of the show? And I don't mean like the change she actually gets.
Oh,
but, like, when she shows up, does she think they're like in her personal pride in tracking like?
I think she is ashamed that she's in this environment. I don't think she's ashamed of her environment and the fact that she comes from here and she wants to just get out of it and like absolutely be away from it. As a method of being like, this is not me, no. Like, so yes. And that's her way out. Like changing is getting out.
So then,
and my mom got out, and I did too.
So like as the challenges happen then, like when because I feel like I remember, and also sometimes reading the direction, I'm like, it's possible maybe I'm not remembering correctly. She is a little hesitant, like when it's first Redneck Superstar, she's like, whoa, wait, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that title, but when she gets cut off. And then there's like reference again to that, I think. But then when she's like actually getting her makeover, is she enjoying it at all?
No. I mean, she's confused. I think she's sort of, she's like, I'll enjoy it if they want me to. I'll do whatever I need to do to win and get out.
But so I guess for me, it's just like maybe thinking about how she thinks there are things about herself to be ashamed of, but she doesn't want to make over.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so it's just like how she do it.
Yeah, I throughout, she came off as like very passive, like all of this was happening to her, she didn't know what the show was, like.
Totally.
And I wonder if like she needs, or like, does she need to not know? Like, can she just like know what she's signing up for? But then it not happening in the way that she thought it would, or like, oh, yeah, I want to change, but like they want to change me in ways that I don't. I was like, oh no, I want to move away from this like racist culture, but they just want to give me a haircut and like in fact enhance that, like play that up for the camera and stuff like this. And so suddenly she to get to the prize of like leaving, she has to embrace the things she actually wants to push away, like just a little more conflict there throughout.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And like on that, I love that scene at the end when it's like off camera, like off air, and I sort of wanted that throughout, like more breathing moments to like see like Heath and Patty, like what are they like off?
Yeah,
off
I
air.
totally agree with that.
And then, because then you can, I think that is an opportunity then to also like show their like perspectives without having to like have them say it, or like just them behaving differently on air versus off, what they say on air versus off, and like that sort of like producer hand too. It's also like between the two of them, I was like, do they hate each other? Is there like a fun like dynamic there to like contrast with like what they
I
want to do?
love the moment where he's like, oh no, it looks like her mic went out. Oh, what can you do? Yeah, that was a really powerful moment. So yeah, I mean, I guess showing them off there, whether you show them behaving differently or not, maybe they're not different out there. Like,
Or like
maybe this is just their personality.
maybe one of them is like the same on or off.
But yeah, exactly.
He would be the same. Heath is the same.
Journey, even a subtle journey for her, for Patty.
Yeah.
By having her start to speak up and them cutting her mic.
Yeah, that's great. Because I don't want her to be I want her to be moldable, you know? And like, she's kind of like, she and Birdie have a little bit of the same journey going on, but it's just from different perspectives. Like, Patty's like what I think of you versus Birdie's is what I think of myself and my environment.
Well, Patty's a person who would have been steeped in this for a really long time and more or less gotten used to it after a while. Which is not to say agree with it or change, but accepted it, like a lot of people in Hollywood do.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the show? Is this a new show?
How long have I been?
No, this is like their show.
Oh, God, no, it's new. It's the first.
It's the first season. I'm sorry, you probably said that.
Yeah. It's like a special. It's just one show.
Just curious, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Also, again, it may or may not be helpful, but like, does it have to be just one episode? Can this be just slices of like a whole season? Like, does that time, does having like all the different things be different episodes and like time between, does that give you more opportunity to like expand things versus like condensing it into like?
It might. It initially was like a show over a period of several months.
Yeah. Like I get the like sometimes the compression of that time can like be a nice pressure cooker, but also does it, even if it's only like, you know, it's like 3 episodes, like skipping like 3 weeks or something like that, does giving yourself more like narrative time between help sort of like
Allow for a journey.
Yeah.
Allow for learning to take place and change to happen.
That is the thing, is that, these things do take time.
I wonder too if it, like, just a thought too to play with, to figure this out. Like, I guess I was also just thinking of American Idol, where they're on season fucking 29 now.
Something like that.
Like, what if it's because this is what they do? This is the machine, this is the narrative, and this is the girl that breaks the narrative, and they don't like that. So part of me wonders if, like, this is already this well-run machine. It's also, again, it takes, looking at it. Furthermore, it's the narrative, like, we all in LA have of Southerners. That's been going on forever. And it's just like, this is the norm. Yeah, they're just Southern. Make their hair big. Yeah, make them, slack jawed. Let's go get a mom with the door broken off her head. And this is the girl that breaks the
Probably
perception.
then Birdie would know going into it what she's going into, and I think that aspect of it would change who she
That's
is.
true.
If she went on to the show knowing that it was stereotyping.
Yeah.
And the stakes are higher with it being a one-off. And when you find out that the producers want to turn it into a whole season, that does give it higher stakes because they want it to be a success, which makes them pressure her more to be a certain way.
I guess you're right.
initially she was not a competition, she was just selected and they were gonna develop her anyway, and it was like, yeah, like a done thing, and someone pointed out that her life was just too easy, like she had no stakes, and so, you know, this was kind of like making it high stakes for her and a lot of pressure, I suppose easier for
But it's
me.
also, I mean, even though it's a play against that aspect of stakes, if she is, if she was selected and they're starting to do a transformation and it's something that she's not interested in, the stake is a personal one for her not to become that and not be who she actually is. So like,
It's like
she's not
maybe
gonna win.
she did know what was going into it. She's like, the girls before were all like these stereotypes, and like, I want to show what it's really like. And then she realizes getting there, oh, that's not possible. This is what's happened. But all those people are the people that won got out.
Yeah.
And like, because that's what she wants, right? But I mean, it could probably work either way. It was just a thought, just an exercise.
Production's gonna like tell her like be yourself. Like they're gonna tell her all the things she wants to hear to like, but then they're going to, you know, be yourself, but like just this version of yourself.
Exactly.
Just like just this part.
Yeah.
17?
17.
Why 17 and not 18?
I like sort of that cusp between being able to, like, she's not really fully quite able to do all the things by herself yet, but she's really close to it. So she's very close to 18 in my mind. Like the last little bit, it's sort of like symbolic, I think, of that last little bit of in a bubble of what you've learned. I mean, as you know, because we grew up in, I mean, like, you know. So, you know, and some of it too is my, like, I mean, sometimes I'm like, seems very naive in some ways. I was, and, you know, but I didn't have the internet quite the same way, or even really the independence to know, like, you know, I was a very, like, just do these things and get good grades and that's fine, and that's all I need to do. And, like, you know, I think, is NETTIE a clear character enough? Like, I want it to be a little bit goofy. Is there a different way to do that?
I thought so for me, but I was also reading it as I was
True.
going, so it's pretty clear to me.
Thought.
Yeah, I was like not clear. I was like, oh, is this an imaginary friend? Is it like
Intentionally just, you're not, it's sort of like, it's like the weird, the unreal, it's easy.
And like I wasn't quite like also as like I couldn't quite picture like what like physically that would look like.
Yeah.
And so I was just like internally asking questions of like could it just be a person, like a person, a producer, exactly, or like a friend who just like is on their phone all the time. Like, is there like what of like being a sort of like essentially fantasy creature, like if NETTIE is going to be that fantasy creature, like what more can it do? Otherwise, like how can it be
Maybe there's
grounded
something
in like a
with like going further, like leaning more into that would make the heavy-handedness less so. And there's sort of like having access to all that information, and also like a way to kind of learn about far more things than you know than you were able to. But
I was thinking about that kind of as I was reading. Like I think that you could have, if NETTIE isn't actually a real person, and it's more of like a fantasy sentient being, I think there could be more like robot-esque moments to NETTIE, where it's like they're interacting as like a normal, you know, person friend, and then it all of a sudden like breaks to like just data.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could be a way too for you to get out a lot of that more heavy-handed information.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
In a quicker kind of timeline too. You know, Appalachian coal miners of the 1929s were like, you know what I mean? Like, you have like some sections in the script that are like longer. I think the pacing is a little challenging because you do need to get so much of it, like the educational part of it, delivered, and that could be a way to.
That's funny. I love that.
You could even have a series sound effects.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that.
And then she
I like that.
Yeah. Like a world building.
I would say in general, Angela, that you know that you've done a million different versions of this.
Oh yeah.
And you've been struggling with how to say the things you want to say.
Yeah.
And any one of your versions could work if you committed to them.
Thank you, but also you can tell me
what I think works about this one is because I know what's been holding you back is your fear of how it's going to be perceived.
Yep.
And the fact that this is going over the top with NETTIE, with the you know, the commercials, with all the stuff that's going crazy, is allowing you to hit the stuff that you want to hit and feel comfortable doing it.
That makes sense.
Because of the humor.
Thank you.
So it's not that any of the other ways couldn't work.
Okay.
But it
that's
feels to me
helpful.
like this is the way that it's going to work for you.
It feels like me now,
Uh-huh.
as opposed to me trying to write something
Exactly.
else.
So I think
Because I want it to be, the idea is that it's weird. The people are a little stupidly obnoxious. It's weird. You don't really know, like, it doesn't make a lot, like, does it make sense? No. Is this person real? Is it an imaginary friend? No, we don't know. We kind of don't care. It's silly.
The more over the top you go,
Yeah.
the more it allows you to do everything you want to do without pulling back and not wanting to show it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it also feels like it's in my voice to be weird.
Absolutely.
And I want it to be weird.
Good at it.
You know?
And you were struggling with that in I think every other version.
But I did this in about 3 days.
Yeah, and structurally, the only thing for me was that sort of midway or 3/4 of the way through, there was that one scene that was backstage.
Oh,
And then we, after the cameras cut, so there were in essence sort of 2 scenes that were not actually in the show. And just dramaturgically, my feeling is either save it for that last moment so that it has real deep impact, it's the only time we're not seeing them on camera and part of the show, or do a whole lot more of it. But right now, just having the 2 is straddling that line. And the first one, I couldn't figure out, because I was like, wait a minute. Everything has been done from the viewpoint of the camera. Why is it not now?
Time kind of freezes when she,
The very final one, I totally understood, because the show's over. And and I wouldn't have felt that way if it had happened more often. So to me, those are the choices.
That makes sense.
It either happens more often, or you save it till the end.
Yeah. She
Whichever
kind
way
of,
feels better.
time sort of freezes in my mind sometimes when those were happening too, which did I indicate that? No, I didn't script that at all. But yeah, this is the first script I've ever written.
But it also, I think
I think I'll ever do it.
when we're not on camera, it can't be that crazy over the top stuff
Right.
which is why I think my taste would be waiting to the end waiting to the very end to be real.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because why be real periodically throughout the piece? Like it loses the impact.
Also, by weird, you mean very smart, funny writing.
Thank
You say weird, but it's like
100%.
a lot of your bits in the dialogue and the jokes are like, I mean, you have such a funny, strong comedic voice. So if that's your version of weird, then yeah,
That's silly.
I mean, weird. Keep being weird.
It's
Very, very funny.
I
Like
appreciate that.
the bits and the joke. I mean, I really thought were very developed.
And I love NETTIE, I do. I mean, whether you move some of her stuff forward or back or strengthen it here or there, I find her talking about a personified version of the internet to be believable because we treat these little bastards like people. We really do. We look out for them. We're always worried where they are. We're always worried that they might eat us. Like we internalize everything that is said to us through as little things.
I wonder if I wouldn't have been so naive for so long if I'd had more access to it when I was 17, you know? Or if I would have been way more atrocious, probably.
But yeah, I think that's a blessing, frankly. I'm really glad we didn't have these things.
So that, yeah.
At the end, when she's like looking for Nanny, I think was that just like a manifestation of like when Birdie at the end is like looking for Nanny and she's not there? Like, is that just like a figment of my imagination? Was I just like in conversation with myself? And I was like, oh, it could be that, like, and this idea, because then Nettie can all like be there all the time if it's
true.
It's also
That's a
like
good point. Maybe I take that last line out.
yeah, like if you take that joke out, you it gives you permission to like have her literally be whispering in your ear at any point, like even on camera. And I think if it also like it could be not as literal as like the internet, but more like this idea of like it's her phone. Like she's the one who's like reading, like maybe Birdie's the one that's like reading the comments on the internet. She's going like
her phone.
You're dramatizing it in terms of like having it be a conversation with the character. But this is Birdie's like insecurities. It's her bouncing that off of the internet.
I like
the way
that.
that like you can like look at search, people just type like exactly their like deepest like things into search engines?
That is the song lyric from the internet song. That is literally like
Okay.
about what the lyric is.
Yeah, where like people like
Yeah.
type.
Exactly. It's like the internet knows exactly what you think.
Yeah, they type these like weird things
Dave's
into Google.
deleting my search history if I die.
Exactly. But that idea of like using NETTIE as like a persona.
That's cool. This is so helpful.
That and like a reflection. Like she can get more information from these outside sources, but like NETTIE is sort of like a reflection of her. Is her.
Yeah.
In a way.
So good.
Angela, this conversation could go on forever.
I know.
I encourage everybody to stay in conversation with Angela.
I don't want to take up more of your time. Thank you so much. You know me, and I don't. Actually, I have an artist statement that I would like you to take, just because I want to make sure I'm communicating my brain well. But I don't mind showing people the terrible things I make. This